are back, and we're also adjusting the microphone. I think we're good to go now. If you can't carry a tune, what can you carry? I actually can't carry a tune, so hopefully still a lot. Today's reflection, I've been thinking about this reflection for 2 years. Off and on, certainly in the last few weeks, I've been thinking about it a lot. And that is around this lecture. This was about 2 years ago. I was at the ashram about 2 hours outside of Mumbai, and it was during a youth retreat. So there was 14, 15-year-olds at the ashram for the day. I think it was on a Saturday or so. And it was so great. It was a jolt of energy for them to come to the ashram and, go to the dining hall and go to the lecture halls. And it was just, it was a blast, and nothing like youthful energy. And the questions were really good as well. One of the lectures, there was a few during the day, and one of the lectures was by essentially the person that runs the day-to-day operations of the ashram. His name is Jal. He's a doctor, so Dr. Jal, or Dr. J, as a few of us call him. Shout out Dr. J if this ever gets back to you. 2 years ago, he gave a lecture, and in the first few minutes, he started with some prescient words. He said, if you take anything away from the next hour, let it be this: it's not out there. Proceeded to give a great lecture, and then at the end, he said, I want to end this in the same way that I started it, by saying, if you get anything out of this entire lecture, let it be these 4 words: it's not out there. So much of what we're chasing in the world, so much of it is illusory. We don't even really know what we're chasing. We think partner at the law firm, that job, getting into that university, finding that spouse. Not only do we think that those are going to be the last thing we need, the only thing we need that can unlock every other door, but we also think that that's what we really want. So much of the time, we think the symbol of what we want is what we want. $10 million. Why? You're not going to eat $10 million of cash. Why do you want $10 million? So that you can have optionality, do whatever you want? That $10 million represents is a symbol of freedom. Partner at the law firm. Maybe it's a symbol of belonging, symbol of admiration, respect. Whatever we're chasing, it's a symbol. So often it's a symbol of a symbol of a symbol of the thing that we want. So what we really want, name, fame, wealth, belonging, health, so much of it, and we said this in a previous episode, so much of it goes to peace and prosperity. That's what we want. That's what the Bhagavad Gita outlines so explicitly. What you're chasing after is peace and prosperity. And to take it a step further, what we really want, and the Gita, as well as so many other places within this philosophy, outline what you really want is freedom. And what Dr. J was saying was so crystal clear. That freedom you're chasing is not out there. It's not in some career milestone. It's not found in some significant other. It's not in having a child. It's not in your children being healthy. It's not in your own health. It's not getting rid of that one constant chronic pain that you might be suffering from. Because once you do, as the Buddhists say, there will be 10,000 other things. So if it's not these acute things that we're chasing after, if it's not these things that we can articulate, or these finish lines that we can imagine, and it's this more conceptual, potentially vague, but natural desire for freedom, what Dr. J is saying is that freedom is not out there. It's not the trophies on the mantelpiece. It's not the payday. It's not the 3 letters next to your name when you're made CEO. 10 years ago, I was CEO with a heart condition on a stretcher in the ER, having my heart shocked back into rhythm with those paddles you see in TVs and movies, after it beating for 175 beats a minute for 3 weeks, in the midst of a depression. 100 employees, those 3 letters, that was not freedom. That was not even close. It's not in the external. Freedom is not an external state. It's an internal one. Now, doing many of the same things with kids, with some pretty bad lower back pain here and there, probably related to the little ones, with so many different things on the plate that I didn't have 10 years ago. Now, everything feels effortless each day. And nearly every day, I'm doing what I feel called to do, which is in perfect alignment with what I want to do and what I can do. Therefore, every day I'm doing what I choose to do. That's freedom, the ability to do what you want to do. The obligations, that list of obligations runs long, but the freedom, that internal state grows and grows each day faster than the to-do list. And this is a science. This is not a sermon. You can test this out. Experiment with yourself. When you get that X, Y, or Z that you think is the last piece of the puzzle to contentment, happiness, freedom, moksha, nirvana, our concept of heaven here in the West, they're all the same thing. That peace, that prosperity, is it in that thing? Or is it a few days, a few hours, a few weeks later, and you're back at the bottom of the wheel trying to run back up? If it is, and this is something you've noticed in yourself, keep noticing it. You don't even have to change anything, but perhaps give some reflection, some space to this phrase, these 4 words. See if there's some truth to them. It's not out there. We'll see you next time on the Daily Vedantic.